Peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. Wisdom Selah L here for the new moon in Cancer general guidance reading. So if you are here in listening range, then this is for you. I have prayed and cleared the cards and all that good stuff, as you know. Ooh. Let's see. Should we get into? I hope that everyone is well, prospering. If you have any questions, you can put them in the chat, and if I see them, I will certainly ask and answer for you. Espíritu Santo. Ooh. All right, we got 2 movement choices, decisions. So that's the energy of kind of being undecided, not knowing which direction to go in, like having different pathways, like several options that you could choose from, and not quite knowing which one you should pursue, because they could all look, like they could possibly amount to something. Peace and love to the family coming in. Ooh, I usually record these, but I am doing it live today. Ooh. Conflict and defeat. So there could be a lot of energy around us fighting against ourselves, possibly having to do with which options we're taking or could take or have taken. A lot of self-conflict, because we're never really defeated, right? Like, as long as we have breath in our lungs, we can start again from wherever we are. Reverend Ike said the devil is self-conflict. And if you are God, then that makes all the sense in the world. So having self-conflict can be a much larger issue than, what we may naturally make of it. Ooh, new beginnings. So with this particular new moon, we're really resetting. We're really taking a good inventory of our energy, our decisions, where we're spending our time, where we are giving our attention, right? People, places, things. We're taking stock of all of that. And really, deciding what's worth our time and what we need to do less of. Ooh. Movement, choices, and decisions. It's like, Should you be focused on your money, on your coin? Should you be focused on a relationship? Should you be focused on pursuing your dreams? Focused on personal growth? There's like all these different avenues where we could place our time and attention attention is currency, right? So we did something and saw that we put our time and energy and attention there, but it didn't yield the results that we wanted it to. So there might be some feelings of like failure, feelings of maybe guilt, or just not feeling your God power self, right? Ooh, well, we are coming out of that for this new moon. Anything else, Spirit? Yeah, it's very important that we don't stay in this state, because our heart is the baseline that resets all the systems in our body. And when, that's why they say don't do it unless your heart's in it. Because everything else really is a failure if your heart is not in it. So it's very, very, very important to move from the heart and the heart only. Like that's the true brain, right? That's way above logic. Yeah, so we are moving on. Greener pastures, right? Brighter skies, coming out of, that feeling of, what you did not working, and the lows that it took you through that we allowed. Take me through there, that we asked for, right? For our lesson, for our soul growth. I know once I hit my head, I'll be like, baby, I'm good. I don't want to get hit in the head again if I don't have to. Throat chakra, there's really going to be a need for us to speak our mind, especially to bring about the change that we want to see. And that came out underneath the conflict and defeat, so this is a 5 as well. And that, so that is definitely what is needed to change. And I got a 12 o'clock. Fulfillment of wishes came out as well. So it's looking like when we move on from the toxicity and the things that weren't working, we have these honest conversations with ourselves and or with others. It's going to bring us to the fulfillment, because that's really what we want, right? In anything that we desire or want to have, we desire it or want to have it because we believe that the having of it is going to make us feel better. It's going to make us feel, we think, fulfilled. right? But as we know, there's people who become multi-millionaires and billionaires and are still not happy. So sometimes you can have all the things, right? Because all of that is really inside of you. You existing in the state of fulfillment is living honestly and authentically by that heart. Again, right? And then the heart, make my heart speak. And hopefully what we're saying has to match. But a lot of us don't do that. We say what we think people want to hear, or people please, or, try to manipulate conversations, leave things out, just not being completely honest. And so the heart is going to detect the inauthenticity, right? And that's why a lot of people don't feel fulfilled, no matter what they acquire in this physical realm. Anything else, Spirit? Ooh. 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 Espírito Santo. Ooh. 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 Okay. Ooh. Lights. So yeah, this whole process, if done correctly, will have us in a space of really glowing up, right? Really coming into alignment with our higher selves and being the best that we could possibly be, which to me is like the whole purpose and point of life, the reason that you have the breath of life in you, right? Each day that we wake up and we're given life, we're given the opportunity to become better in some capacity. So this new moon in Cancer, we really want to focus on having better boundaries with how we move. We want to do some things new. Have some new ways to move, right? We're making new choices, new decisions. So being more strategic, just a little bit. Like, there's some people that, may feel entitled to your energy. And so when you do move a little more strategically, a little more intentionally, a little more on purpose, a little more new, like, you're just doing some new things. There might, be some kickback from that. It might ruffle some feathers, make people feel away. And yeah, that's not your problem. And when we try to make it our problem is where it becomes a problem. When, we put others before ourselves and we wind up feeling verklempt because we're not speaking our mind, or doing what it is that we really want to do authentically, right? And we're coming out of that. Like, just call me Nunu. Okay? Yes. So moving on from those old ways, old thoughts, old ways of being, you definitely want to live from the end, act as if you are that person that has whatever it is that you want to have, right? You have to be that person already before it happens. Utilizing that good throat chakra. And in being authentic and fully yourself and in alignment, living by your heart as well. Is where that fulfillment and enlightenment comes in at. Might have a Christ consciousness download I'm getting for some people who, haven't had that moment yet. It may take some spending time in solitude and losing some folks, right? But the kingdom is within, so we already know what time it is. Let me do some romance angels. Everyone wants to know about love and relationships. Ooh. What do the angels have to say today? I hope everyone is well, enjoying their summer, in good health, staying out the way, and hugging your lane. Ooh. 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 Okay. Give your relationship a chance. Calling in your soulmate. Heart-to-heart conversations. That throat chakra. Children may be affecting your love life. Ooh, engagement and honeymoon right after engagement. So some people is gonna have a whirlwind romance, baby. That might be in your midst, in your energy field, and again, the need for honest conversations. And when you live by your heart, that's the thing I think a lot of people don't understand. Because we're always manifesting. Always, 24/7, 365. And so what's being emitted from us, our frequency, is what is, drawing back the wave that comes back to us. So when we visualize negative things, when we get on the phone or in the group chat with negative conversations, we're attracting that back to us as well. So it's very important that if you want better, because I used to think telling it like it is was, that's the authenticity, right? Like, and there's a space for that. But also, recanting, saying something multiple times. I don't care what it is. I don't care if, the doctor gave you a cancer diagnosis or something like that, Lord forbid. Once you have that conversation with the doctor, like, you might want to have it with your mate or people, in your immediate environment, because they'll be the ones who are helping to take care of you, or, actually involved in your everyday life where it might affect them as well. But other than that, don't say that shit again. Like, don't even have the conversation in your mind, because we have to realize what we're attracting and manifesting every single moment of every day. Right? So I don't care what it is. The worst of the worst possible news, you can always pray and affirm and visualize the opposite. And that's what we're here for. We're here to create. So we're creating either way. So this is about, what are you calling in? Yes. Putting in work as well is always necessary. And children, whether you have them, don't have them, are affecting the relationship as well. So it could be, just complex in regards to children, like whether they're, more children are wanted to be had or not had, or, the logistics of children, blended families, things of that nature. But it does look like we are siding on the side of love. And higher levels of commitment always require new versions of ourselves, right? So more discipline, more boundaries, like I said, with the other card deck, like, new. Might have to be some new things that are implemented there in order for you to become those new people. And honeymoon, a little vacay, and time together to kind of, solidify that higher level of being. Well, all right, guys, that is it for me. Thank you so much for joining and tuning in. As usual, if you would like your own personal reading, feel free to send me a message, comment here, or link in the bio. Mwah. Peace. Ooh.